This is the first video of our new series where we will discuss NoSQL databases like Cassandra, Firestore, and some more databases like MongoDB. So let's start with the first series. Here we will discuss about the differences between SQL databases like RDBMS versus NoSQL databases. My name is Rohit Garg and I welcome you on our YouTube channel Decode ITES. Decode ITS provides you single learning platform for multiple IT technologies. SQL versus NoSQL. This is one of the topic which is getting lots of attention nowadays because of their different usage, different types, different functionalities and benefits. Let's explore what are the major differences between both of them and what are the major use of them. RDBMS and NoSQL. RDBMS or SQL is best for low velocity of data, whereas NoSQL is best for handling high velocity of data. Velocity of data is one of the V factor for big data. That means velocity. It means how much data is generated when system performs a transactions. In RDBMS, it's a transactional database system and generation of data is quite low when we compare it with the NoSQL where the amount of data is too much because of too much complex transactions or queries or business logics and analysis reports. It generates too much kind of data. Data drives from one location to few location in RDBMS, whereas in NoSQL data moves from many location to many location. What does it mean? It means in SQL one node is primary or one region is primary region, which is basically facing your customer application or user load. All new data is coming to that region and that region is sending that data to other regions as an application or as a read-only copies. Whereas in NoSQL, all locations are equal. Any location can get the data, read the data, and it will be replicated later. Support complex queries, business logics using JSON is the characteristics of RDBMS. We have lots of functions, lots of query parameters, whereas in NoSQL, it supports only simple queries and do not support join. Single point of failure. RDBMS is single point of failure. That means if anything happens to one node when you are running a single node instance or anything happens to a particular region, your system will go down or your application, your database will face the downtime. Whereas in NoSQL, it's a completely decentralized database. All regions, all node having the same kind of data, same kind of setup. So in case any of the node goes down, any of the region goes down, it will not affect your application or your user experience. Your system will keep running fine on remaining environment, remaining nodes. Handling data in low to moderate volume. That means in RDBMS, the amount of data or the size of database is not very much. We hardly see a few terabyte systems in OLTP system, whereas in OLAP we found around 2-digit terabyte databases. But when we talk about NoSQL database, it's a big data. We are talking about hundred of terabytes of data is laying there. Centralized deployments, as we discussed, one of the node or one of the region is the primary for that system. So you need to start your deployment from that region or node only. Whereas in NoSQL, all nodes are equal. So you can start your deployments from any node or you can even do that parallel. Transaction can write only at one locations. Transaction can be returned from multiple locations. Same as above. Only one node can write the transaction or particular one region and that will be replicated to other locations. Whereas in NoSQL, you can write the transaction from any of the node. RDBMS gives you Z scalability because you can add multiple nodes and you can just read data from there. Whereas NoSQL, when you add a node, it gives you read and write both scalability because you can do the both operations from them. Support vertical scaling. That means when you feel you need more power, more resources for the processing, you need to add a power or the resources to the server like more CPU, more memory, more network bandwidth, whereas NoSQL supports the horizontal scaling. You need not to add the resources, you can just add an additional node there. It supports T-SQL and P-SQL like languages for the programming, whereas NoSQL supports C-SQL Cassandra query language, G-SQL Gold Query language kind of languages for programming. In RDBMS, data is stored in tables, whereas in NoSQL, there are different storage formats are available like documents, graph, key value, and etc. In RDBMS, records has fixed properties. When you create a table, you have the fixed number of columns, which are the properties of the table. Whereas in NoSQL, properties are not fixed. They are dynamic. You can add them, delete them at any time. Schema is fixed. In NoSQL, schema is dynamic and flexible. RDBMS supports the in-memory system. There is time when your memory is not sufficient to handle all the load, or for some particular complex tables or the highly transaction tables, you want them to load in memory every time. So we have this in-memory features in RDBMS for that. Whereas in NoSQL, it comes up with the integrated cache system. So you need not to worry about that performance thing. RDBMS are of two types, OLTP and OLAP. One is transaction processing, one is analytical processing. Whereas NoSQL are of primarily four types: key value pair, document based, column based, graph, and one more type is their multimodal, which is basically a combination of above four major types. RDBMS system works on ACID properties: atomicity, consistency, isolation, and durability. Whereas NoSQL works on CAP theorem, consistency, availability, and partition tolerance. Some of the major products which are available in RDBMS are SQL Server, Oracle, Postgres, MySQL, Amazon Aura, Informix DB2. Whereas in NoSQL, some of the major products are Cassandra, Cloud Firestore, MongoDB, CouchDB, and Amazon DynamoDB. Hope you like this video and the basic differentiation between SQL and NoSQL. I hope it gives you a rough idea what are the major differences, what can be the proper use cases where you can use them. Because if someone says that NoSQL is the new one and it would replace the RDBMS systems completely, no, it's not possible. Even though you can't use this same type of NoSQL database everywhere. We have 4 to 5 types of NoSQL database because they have different properties and used on different locations, different areas on basis of their usability. So NoSQL is not a replacement of RDBMS, but it's a requirement of our upcoming market, upcoming requirements, and it's going to be a parallel division or parallel arm of our database environment. Thanks for watching. For any questions, please leave comment on videos or contact us.